This is 2 years ago. I played my 20,000th game on Lichess, and this is what Lefong had to say about it.
I think the game itself was really worth it. Like I could have blundered in 20 moves, you could have blundered in 20 moves, but we ended up producing like a super instructive game with a little bit of everything, right? We have a super
Mm.
instructive end game. We have isolated pawns, double pawns, king that can't castle, bishop pair, the whole thing.
I completely agree. And guest appearance from your cat.
Ah, it's Benoni. Ha ha ha. Okay, so we're about to play Lefong for his 20,000th game on Lichess. We can see here he is one game away, and whatever happens, hopefully it's going to be a fun one. Hopefully, no like 8-move Berlin draws, but no promises. I don't think he plays Berlin. I don't think I play Berlin. Okay, I'm white. I'll probably focus more on the game than on chat. And this is 10 plus 5. Lafong's 20,000th. And I'm going to play e4. And I'm expecting Sicilian. And then we'll see how it goes from there. I mean, the game that we played almost 3 years ago was also Sicilian. But I'm going to play a different line. I still got some coffee. Not much coffee left, but a little bit. He's probably deep in thought right now. Complicated position. Oops. Okay. Muscle memory almost took over there. But I'm playing an Alapin Sicilian, which is it's an opening that I played in Beal as like a surprise weapon. And it has some similarities to Ponziani, like trying to take over the center right away. Yeah, so there's these d-pawn moves. Whatever black does, I take, and then castle. So this is like a kind of branching position. There's a lot of different moves for black. There's c4, there's bishop e6, there's g6, there's bishop g4, there's pawn e6. My game in Switzerland recently featured bishop e6. I wonder if he knows that. I'm trying to remember what I played in that game. I think I'm supposed to take. Oh, there's a few moves here. There is takes and then this idea a4. I think I'll go for that. Like have some vague preparation. The idea is to simply kick the knight and gain space. So this is, I mean, this is a position I've never had before. Although I have had this in my like prep file at some point. I just don't know so much beyond this. So I think one reason for this early a pawn thrust is I want to provoke the knight to d5 and only then play d4. And that way I avoid the isolated queen's pawn. So playing relatively quickly here and getting in the early opening idea. Now I'm a bit underdeveloped on the queen side. I'm wondering, probably makes sense to take first. But even though I'm underdeveloped on the queen side, black is underdeveloped on the king side. And the king's not castled yet for black, so maybe that's some source of possibility for me to attack, or at least try and like restrict black from castling. And for example, g6, maybe I can take and play queen d4. Thank you to Go Far, man. I'm going to try and go far in this game. Oh, this is casual. I hope this still counts for his number 20,000. I think it should, because his recent games were also casual. Yeah, we're reaching a position where I'm gonna have to start like figuring things out on my own. And the nice thing about having the pawn here is there's potential for a6 to maybe destabilize the queen side a bit more. And he goes for e6. Which looks solid. And now it's time to think. I mean, taking on c6 doesn't seem too productive. Queen g4 comes to mind, but then knight f6. So I think it's a question how to like best develop. Looking at a6, b6, and some eventual c4 move is interesting. And he just wants to play bishop e7. So maybe I do play a6 first. Like there's some argument that the like after b6 my pawn could be a liability, but it's also a potential strength. And there's a line here. Oh, c4, knight c7, queen f3 doesn't work because takes and knight would defend the rook. So what about queen g4 first? And there's queen a5 as well. Or queen a4, I should say. Queen a4 actually looks interesting. Rook c8. Maybe rook d1. It's rapid. I'll trust my instinct. Another move that just came to mind was rook a4, which I kind of wish I considered. That could have been cool to like lift over, especially if black is preparing to castle. But the point of queen a4 is to induce knight takes d4, after which I take back and then the bishop's tied down. So trying to slow down black's quest for king safety. And yeah, we're probably either going to see rook c8 or takes and get their two main moves. Yeah, so let's take with queen. My heart thing's still working? I think my heart was stuck at 95 beats per minute for a while. I think that app just like disconnected. Should be back though. Okay. Yeah, okay, down to 73. That's better. Okay. Yeah, knight f6. We might be going into some endgame. I don't really want to trade queens, but I mean, there's bishop e3. Bishop e3, take. I would love to somehow prepare rook d1 without trading queens, but that's difficult to do. There's rook a4 still to consider. I think I like the idea of Bishop e3. Bishop e3. But what's happening? Bishop e3, bishop e7, rook d1, takes, castle. Knight d2. So we just get a position. Okay. It's going to be positional. Queens are traded. One benefit, I didn't mention this before when I played a6, but it's something to keep in the back of mind. With the pawn on a6, it fixes the a pawn on a dark square. And that combines well with this bishop situation. Like with bishops of the same color, you don't really want your pawns fixed on the same color as your bishop. So, like, in very distant endgame scenarios, there might be ideas of sacking on b6 to get the passed a pawn. Always something to keep in mind. Not to mention there's ideas of like bringing the knight to b5. Oh, that move I should have considered. I think I was expecting... I thought I could just take and take, but yeah, there's knight takes and... Oh, what to do? And maybe it's still okay.
Two of my faves playing each other.
Hey,
is it my birthday?
Happy birthday. So... yeah, I kind of overlooked bishop c5. Takes, knight takes. Oh, there's an interesting line, though. So the calculation is takes, and then here, and then knight takes, and then here. And that's winning for white because knight's attacked, and knight c7 is an idea. So let's say after knight a3, there's knight b3, rook a2. I'm still getting the knight to b5 in these situations. I think I go for that. Yeah, it's not at all like a crazy tactical game, but it's very interesting from a strategic point of view. Mainly because of the situation on the queen side. It's like very long term where this could be a weakness, it could be a strength. I think for the time being, it's not in any danger. Like the pawn is basically defended by the tactic. So again, if knight takes, I play this, and then I'm threatening this, and if the knight moves, I fork. And really, I just want to play knight b5 and tie down the rook to defending the pawn. Now, there is going to be a question coming up. Let's say I play knight b5. The question will eventually become, do I want to play b4? Wow. That move I did not see coming. Hey, thank you, Manchas. Appreciate the raid. I completely forgot castling queenside was possible, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because now the king's going to come to b8. It's a good defender. I think I still should go for this. And the knight will come probably to d4. Some b4 ideas still. So what's happening? b4. b4, knight e4. Maybe c. Oops. Almost mouse slipped something there. I also have this move. And this is really interesting because I have ideas of this, and then this. So maybe I start with knight e4. And in the process, I'm also, of course, threatening this. So we'll probably see either king c7 or rook d6. But I think against either move, I just have the straightforward plan of getting the pawn to b5 and getting the knight to c6. And if knight comes here, the king will either have to go into the corner or be prevented from coming to b8, and then a7 becomes a bigger target. So we've both fallen below 5 minutes, but there's still the increments, so there's a lot of things that can still happen. Probably no dirty flagging today. Or at least in this game, I should say. Could I repeat? That would be so anticlimactic for his 20,000th game. But I think I repeat once. Although I kind of want to play b4 first. Let's repeat once. Gain a little bit of time. I'm putting the ball in his court because psychologically, he would probably be sad if his 20,000th game ends in some repetition before move 25. But yeah, b4 I think is going to be my next move, regardless of whether he plays this or this. If he plays rook d6, then king c7 is no longer coming. I wonder what he's thinking about right now. I mean, he's probably considering rook d6. So rook d6, b4, knight moves b5. Oh, but the pawn could be attacked. Oh, I actually have to calculate this. Yeah, the pawn gets attacked. So b4, knight e4, b5. That might not be good for me. So maybe after knight e4, I play knight b5, king b8, f3 first. Yeah, let's still go for this. Expecting knight e4. The problem is knight e4 tends to take the pawn and then has ideas of removing the guard of the knight. Like, I want to play b5, but after takes... I think it's better just to throw in the check. Oh, but then some annoying knight move. And have to go for this. So now f3. I might be sacking a pawn. It gets really interesting though. So knight d6, knight d4, rook c8, b5, rook c3, knight here. King goes in the corner, and then maybe I have to defend first. It's hard to judge from a distance. I guess if I want to, I could just defend with rook c1 in the event of rook c8. It's hard for black to actually stop the plan of b5, knight c6. And it would actually be nice if I get in like a structure with c4, b5, knight on c6, rook on c1. Like, that's the ultimate dream. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards... I guess it's a question which rook to put on c1. Okay, here I could play c4. Which maybe just plunders a pawn. I might be considering b5 here. So if I play b5 myself... I think I could play b5. Like b5, e5 though. It's not so simple. So b5, e5. No, b5, e5, knight c6. I hit the rook. I think I do play b5. Maybe he sacks exchange. I mean, I'm working towards my goal. I'm getting like full domination. Yeah, but e5 is still kind of a threat. I could consider playing c4. I kind of like the idea of rook. Maybe rook b1 first. I'm trying to get a grip on the position. I have to watch out for these forks. Knight c4, I'd probably play rook d1. Maybe even rook b4 there. Rook b4 looks nice. Okay, so now knight c6. Maybe in no rush. Oh, he wants to play e5. There. I could play f4. There's rook e1 as well. Rook e1. Huh. This is like weirdly tricky. c4, take. Rook d1. I'm gonna play rook b4. Although I'm not seeing it. Let's play f4. It's a panic move. Okay, so knight c6. Take, take. I think I have to try knight c6. So rook d5, c4. Not sure what to make of this. It's probably very close to a draw. It probably should be a draw, although I'm not sure. Get my king out.
Through the power of Kung Fu, all things are possible.
That was a bad move, though. I'm in trouble. King c4 is coming. Maybe it's still playable. Trying to make it so it's not good for him to take. Or if he takes, then I get counterplay. This is a nightmare scenario. My pawns are now weak instead of strong. I'll try this. It's desperation, though. Maybe I found some trick. They get to c7. Wow, this is threatening mate in 1. That's insane. Take. Wow. Okay, this should be a draw. What a game. Yeah, this is a pretty classic draw, actually. Looking for final tricks, but I think I'm fine just pushing. I have to be careful actually, but yeah, b2, rook b1. I think black was very close to winning there at some point. Maybe. I think this is still a draw, but let's just take. I could play this, hoping that he. No, let's just play this. Okay. Okay. There's a situation, but yeah, that was not going to happen. There's a situation where black could overpush in one way. That's when the king is further away. Okay, good game. Okay, let's see if this works. Hopefully people can hear.
Hello.
Hey, Lefong.
There you go. Hi, Eric.
Hey, good game.
Oh, wow. What a game.
That was like a very, how to describe it? Like very strategic. I think some very instructive moments in the end game. There was a moment I think you were very close to winning in the end game.
Yeah, after I played G5 and H6, I thought I was winning, but I couldn't find a way. You want to maybe jump into a study or something?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks for not repeating the knight D4, knight B5.
Oh, of course. I was wondering if I went for repetition, if you would go out of your way to avoid it. I thought maybe you'd play rook d6, but
yeah, but rook d6, rook d1, and it's unpleasant, right?
Yeah, it is unpleasant for black. The knight kind of coming into the weaknesses. So I was like never played the c3 Sicilian. It's an opening I've been learning more of recently, so I was excited to try it against you.
So someone told me you had it in Beal?
Yeah, I was mentioning this during the game, but a few weeks ago I played the Beal Chess Festival, and I prepared this as a surprise weapon against one of my opponents. But that was my first time playing it in a tournament. What's that?
Did you surprise him? Like, did you get what you wanted?
Oh yeah. I was playing a WGM from China, and she took like maybe 5 minutes on the second move, I think, deciding between d5 and knight f6. And she actually played the same line that you played, like this bishop e6 move. And
okay, so Eric,
yep,
I'm going to be very honest with you. Up until today's game, I always played bishop f5 until I played Dania and Title Tuesday last week, and I got crushed. So
interesting.
I checked it, and bishop e6 seems more solid than bishop f5.
Yeah, bishop e6 I think is like the main move in like Master's database, like most popular by far.
Right.
Yeah, I actually learned the c3 Sicilian by looking at Dania's opening tree, like just looking at all his blitz schemes in c3 Sicilian and then mapping out his repertoire and then kind of modeling it for myself.
Right.
So
I see.
So bishop e6 is.
Can you tell me where did your game in Beal was different than this one? Like, where did I play differently?
Oh, so I actually deviated from my own game. I think in Beal I played d4, and then it got weird, like cd4, and then there is some knight a3. Like we got some position like this, which is it's playable. Like white's pressuring black because the queen's misplaced. White's a bit ahead in development. My opponent managed to equalize, but I was aware that there's a different move after bishop e6 is to take an a4, and this is I think the top engine idea. Like if you turn on Stockfish, it says a4 is plus 0.3. So I was aware of this, and I went with it, basically just knowing the ideas to play a5 and eventually d4, and that was the extent of my prep.
Yeah, and I think it's a really interesting idea because from at least a human's perspective, it's very annoying for black to have to face this pawn on a6 and be worried about a7 all the time.
Yeah, like long term, especially with like potential dark square bishops or even like the knight ending which we had. It seemed much more pleasant for white.
Right.
So I see there's a Carlsen Nepo game in this line. And Carlsen
I was
played
not
a4.
aware of this.
I was not aware either, but
there's no way that it was a game. There's no way that was a world championship game, right?
Yeah, he definitely did not play the Alapin in the world championship. This was from 2020. So
okay.
The game was from it was from some online like skilling open from Chess24 thing. So they got a similar structure though, because Carlsen also got the pawn to a6. So
right.
Of course, our game was a little bit different. Like here, Carlsen played a6 immediately, and then d4.
I see.
So,
but is this a transposition though?
It's very similar. So what happened in our game? You played e6. In the Carlsen Nepo game, he didn't play e6 until here. It's actually very similar. And queen g4 played.
Okay, well, this is the Carlsen Nepo game. I see it here, right?
Yeah, I inserted it.
I think my idea here.
Yep.
Yeah, my idea was to go knight f6, and if you go queen g3, you have bishop d6 and rook g8 if you take on g7.
Very tricky. So here, and then
yes.
Oh no, my g7 pawn.
Exactly.
Ouch. Yeah, it's a nice idea.
That was the way I was going to entangle and try to castle.
But what happened in our game?
You played?
I took first, and then I played queen. Wait a minute. Oh, I played d4 first. And it was similar.
Yes.
So we basically transposed.
Yes. But the difference is you forced me to take on d4 instead of taking on c6. So your queen got into a nice square on d4?
Yeah, this was part of my thought process because I was debating between queen g4 and queen a4. And I thought queen a4, it's just more direct because like if you take, then I'm happy to take back with queen. And it's a little bit different. So it's almost a novelty. But deviating from the Carlsen game. And
okay, so I think on queen g4, I'm probably taking your knight anyways.
I see. Okay.
But I have less options when you go queen a4, so maybe queen a4 is more precise. Because I know some ideas in these structures where if you go queen g4, I have some h5, h4 ideas even.
Yeah, it can get very sharp, like very quickly. So, okay, so queen a4, so this is like pretty new territory now. We trade. And then for some reason, I just missed that you could play bishop c5. Like I forgot you could take with knight and just reinforce the bishop. So,
but I'm not sure how good this is because ideally I wanted to have a quick king run to c6 before your knight got to b5.
Right.
And with my bishop on f8, I'm also controlling a3. So if I ever want to trade bishop versus knight, it's also an option. So I was not 100% sure if bishop c5 was the best move here. I was even debating coming back to d5 with the knight. I wasn't sure here.
I see. Yeah, because what ended up happening didn't seem super pleasant for black. But
really? I was not sure. I felt that I was pressured. So, but I didn't see anything that you missed though.
Yeah, let's go forward because we got to this structure. I was happy to get in knight b5. You didn't take my my free pawn, which wasn't really free.
No, Eric,
And I forgot
have
this is
learned from
even
you
a
that,
move. This
oh, well, I
queenside
have to,
castle.
right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Defend the pawn.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I wanted to just like mentally torture you with the idea of repeating.
You did.
Get some time, but figured we'd play
Yeah.
on. And then,
And what is crazy here is that you are a move away from having a clear advantage. If you get your knight to c6 and I can't
yeah.
do anything, I'm basically dead, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem is it's like practically it's hard to actually achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had some just concrete issues. Like after I play b5, I want to play knight c6, but you just take on b5.
Oh, I saw a line for you here.
Uh-huh.
I saw c4.
Yeah, so c4 I was calculating, but after takes...
Knight c6.
Oh, and then knight c6.
Yeah, you just sack a pawn. And if I have to play rook a8, then rook c1, and it's really unpleasant, right?
Yeah. I guess I didn't want to take the risk here. Well, maybe there was some... Because they're knight d6, but then... I'm trying to wrap my mind around this situation. Like knight d6, I take on a7. And yeah, I guess rook c1 is coming.
You're just in time with rook c1 check.
Right. And then knight c6 also comes with check. Wow.
Yes. So so c4, the line I calculated here was knight c8 for me.
Oh, knight c8. Wow.
And after knight c6, knight e7.
Ooh,
and
fancy.
Oh, that doesn't work. You have knight e5. Oh, okay. But I saw knight a7 and rook a8.
Gotcha. That's kind of a clever way to try and hold on.
Yes. But I think you have knight e5 here. It's really unpleasant.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if c4 was the best route. I haven't been using the engine, so I might as well check now and see. Just check if it's the best move. C4. So somehow c4, knight takes c4, and if knight c6. Oh, wow, there's knight a5.
Oh, knight a5 and king b8?
Just a blind spot square. Yeah, king b is idea.
Wow, okay. I didn't see that.
And somehow that's even better for black. Like here. Because, yeah, my pawns are going to be more weak than they are strong.
I see. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. So c4 doesn't work. So is black fine here?
So I played rook a b1. Yeah, the engine just says it's like equal. Maybe a small edge for white if I play f4, but no, it's very close to equal.
Okay.
So now it's saying you're better after knight c4, which is crazy.
Oh, okay. I was only thinking about e5, forcing your knight to c6 and taking on b5. And
gotcha.
I saw the line that we went to, and I thought the rook endgame was actually good for me.
Yeah, and it turned out to be good for you.
Yeah, because my king is just closer to your pawns, right?
Yeah. I want to note here that the engine finds like an advantage for black after knight c4, knight a5, and your knight's just so good on a5.
Oh, that's so tough to find, though.
Yeah. It's like... Yeah, because it's so easy to think about this position and try and find the ideal square for the knight. And you think, okay, maybe c5, maybe somewhere in the center, but a5 is the best square. Like preventing knight c6 and then ensuring that the c-pawn is backwards.
Right.
So,
yeah, I completely missed this idea.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, and when you played f4, obviously, I'm still going for e5.
Yes, yeah, and then, yeah, it worked out for you, because takes... Maybe I shouldn't go into c6, but I did, and then...
Okay, so I'm curious now what happens in this endgame. Because, okay, c takes king d6. So, oh no, but you don't have rook d1 check because I go king rook d5. So
yeah, but I think black is already like definitely playing for a win here.
Yeah.
Like when I saw this from a distance, I thought, oh, maybe I can still play for a win because your a7 pawn is going to be a long-term target, but my b pawn is a bigger target, and your king's just more active. So,
is king c5, rook c1 check, king b5 lost?
I didn't like this. Yeah, because you win both pawns.
Yeah.
And then you hold on to h pawn.
Rook c7 takes h5.
Yeah.
It's probably lost, right? Like I'm just pushing my b pawn.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty classic win because even if I get a pass pawn, the two passers for black are just much stronger.
I'm just gonna sack my.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you didn't have this, then it becomes difficult, right? Because the combination of the rook on e5 and the pawn on g5 was really powerful because your king couldn't come in.
Yeah. And that's kind of what you got in the game with the pawn on g5. And then I just had to wait. Like my only idea is to wait until you take and then get counterplay with my rook because I can't do so right away. And then
okay, so here
I had 5 seconds left.
I got excited when you play h4, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean h4 on my part was just a panic move. I think I was deciding between h4 and rook b2. But then what ended up happening? So here.
Hey Eric.
Can I wait here? Can I play rook c5 for an example?
Rook c5.
Because you have no moves.
I think maybe then I play rook h1.
I could play rook c5 and wait for you to play king f3 and then play h5 or something.
Well,
or even maybe even rook g5 here.
I think if you wait, then I can wait with rook b2.
Yeah, but then I push the h pawn. And when you play king g3, I play h5.
I see. Yeah, so I guess if you wait, I have to play rook
rook
h1.
g5 here is really good, I think.
Rook g5 and if rook h1?
And then, okay.
Because now my pawn is kind of becoming
But then
fast.
just king b5, right?
Yeah, take.
And then rook g6.
And then this?
Yeah, rook c6.
And I don't have... Ooh. Yeah, rook g6 is a key move.
This is a really instructive rook endgame. We both didn't have time, but I think I took b5 too quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is what cost me the draw.
No, I think you're definitely right that like rook g5, and I'm not seeing any way for white to even fight because h3 is coming.
Yeah.
Unless do I have something like rook b2 h3 and then keep waiting?
Then h2
and then this?
And again, I just take in rook g6.
Take here. So at least in this line I can defend, but maybe it's too late. Yeah, it's probably not good because you're gonna.
It's probably not good, right? I can play king b4.
Yeah, king
no,
b4
but that doesn't solve my issue because you have a rook b2 check. But any move should be good here.
Yeah, like black should be on the verge of winning.
Right.
Even rook b2, there's king c3, and then b5 is coming.
Yeah. Okay, so after rook b5
soon, and then then I was happy to get this check.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah.
But okay, so we got to this position, and there was a move I was really scared of. You played rook b3. Although maybe...
Oh, no, now I see it. Was it h3?
h3.
Oh, no,
h3
no,
I
no,
can play
no. I
rook
was
h7.
thinking,
Maybe.
and then
Oh, but then
h5.
h5.
Oh, you have g5, right?
G5, yeah.
Yeah. H3, rook h7. H2, rook takes. But your pawn is fast enough in that line. Let's say I sack the two h pawns, right?
Wait,
but
what are we looking at? h3,
h3,
rook h7, h5, g5.
h2. Oh, no, no, not h5, just h2.
Oh, h2, and then I take. Yeah, the pawn's pretty fast.
I think I'm too slow, right? Like if I. Oh, actually, wait a sec. Rook a5 here. Yeah, rook a5
in this position.
Yes, g5. I'm guessing.
Yep.
Rook a6, and then if g6, b5.
But I can take first. This seems
then
close
b5?
to salvageable, but maybe not. Do I have rook h6?
This is absolutely messy here.
Oh, I have table base open. Table base says it's a draw after rook b2.
Oh, okay.
Or a lot of other moves, even rook h6. But practically, maybe it's still playable.
Practically, I mean, I would panic as white here.
Yeah. So
maybe it's my best. Okay, so
I wanted
sorry,
to just show you an idea that I was scared of. At least once we got to this position, you can play a move that threatens mate in 1.
Oh, rook b1?
Rook b1, just threatening checkmate. Like I can't take on a7. I thought this was funny that your pawns play a role. My king's just like sandwiched in the center.
So rook d7 check first and rook a7?
Oh, that's a good point. Actually, yeah, I don't know why I was scared of this. Yeah.
But do I have rook f1 check? Like, okay, let's say I go king c5.
Yeah. Take.
And if you take on a7, do I have rook f1 and h3?
Because your pawn is pretty fast. Yeah, h3.
Oh, but your pawn is fast too.
Rook h7. But your pawn's faster.
Rook c7, king d6, a7.
Ooh. Actually, I don't know.
Rook a1. But then rook c1, rook h1.
No, that's winning for black.
No, we probably lost
rook
there.
a3.
Yeah. Yeah,
endgames are tricky.
So what is the engine saying after you played rook c7?
Yeah, let's see. Any win for black? It's saying that black's not completely winning, but it's minus 0.5. Rook b1 is the best move. And then, actually, the best line is the one that we were just looking at.
Wow.
King, yeah, so let's say king
that
c5.
looked completely winning for black, though.
So where did we go wrong? Rook c7. This is all the top line. This is all fine, actually. Oh, and then rook h7.
Oh,
take.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're getting the two h pawns.
Get the g pawn. Yeah. It's more than enough to draw.
What a game.
I
guess draw is a fair result, right? Like I blundered once, I think.
But I think so. We can run the engine analysis, do the game report.
The report? Sure. I do see the graph here. So the best. Okay, yeah, I was at minus 3.8. That was my best advantage.
Oh wow. So it was winning.
Wow.
Yeah, waiting with a rook. So rook g5 is one winning option.
Rook g5 is winning, right?
But even stronger was rook e7, just giving no counterplay.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm kind of just stuck.
Yes. I had to be patient here. I think I was under time pressure and I sort of panicked here.
I think the plan after rook e7 is to check, push the h pawn, and then win these pawns. And simplify.
I think it was a pretty high quality game for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, the mistakes definitely came much later, and very interesting situation on the queen side from early on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of lessons to take away, like more high level lessons to take away, which is hopefully a good thing.
Well, Eric, it was an absolute pleasure. I'm gonna continue my stream over here.
All right. Well, yeah, thanks, Lefong. It was a pleasure for me too.
Thanks for this. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a good one. Be in touch.
I'll see you soon.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.